For Global Business Updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning to all our viewers out there. Lots to talk about today. Get through it as quickly as possible. First off, just an illustration of, with 8 days to go, what things are looking like with the UK election. That YouGov poll, which actually showed a projection of, if we take a look at some of what they came out there, Labour to gain about 200 seats. This was a projection as of June the 19th. As of the 3rd, they were projected to get 194 seats. So that, if it turns out to be true, will be the second largest majority since World War II. So what we did was we went to the YouGov website and pulled what those numbers would look like. So if you look at the House of Commons projection, they are projecting that Labour would get a staggering 425 seats. So obviously the majority like that since Tony Blair. The Conservatives would lose 257 seats, again according to the projections. This would be the lowest number for them since the party was actually formed. You see the Liberal Democrats getting 56 seats. The SNP over in Scotland, run by Mr. Sweeney, which they've had their own scandals as well, losing about 28 seats. And then you got Reform, which didn't even exist before under Nigel Farage, gaining 5 seats, and then the Green Party just gaining 1. We had John Todd on the Global Business Report. He runs the Charterhouse Lagos, which is Charterhouse, of course, is in the UK, wanting to bring UK level quality education to Nigeria. I think there's schools opening in September or so. But I had to ask him as a resident of the UK about a number of things going on, particularly on inflation. This whole narrative around here in Nigeria, month on month is going down, we're not feeling it. In the United States, it's going down, not feeling it. So here he's talking about UK inflation in particular.
Crazy still. And the reality of 2% is it's just going up more slowly.
Yeah.
So 2% is still a rise. Okay, we're told that's healthy. The price rises on everything. You know, I can compare it to Nigeria.
Of course.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
But back in the UK, everything is just more expensive. And of course, over the last few years, when we've had higher inflation, salaries haven't kept up.
Right.
So things cost more, we have less to pay for it with. And you feel the pinch, you notice that, you can't buy as much, your money doesn't go as far.
Now, I'm not sure if it has been stressed how much of an issue the UK is facing with their education system, with their teacher shortage, and with the NHS, with healthcare. He is in the education sector, so I had to ask him about that, and about particularly Keir Starmer saying he wants to, bring about 6,000 teachers into the UK system and pay them properly. Here he is, reacting to that particular issue.
There's massive gaps in public funding. There's a UK teacher shortage, and that's down to it's not a great place to work. If you're an assistant teacher, you get more money stacking shelves. Great. Recruit 6,500 more teachers, and what was it? Rishi Sunak was doing the same for police officers.
Right.
20,000 or however many. And it hasn't happened because either the people aren't there or the job is just not worth doing for the money that they pay. So I don't think it's realistic to say we can just find 6,500 teachers, because jobs in teaching, the vacancies are at their highest level ever in the UK. That's causing problems here because they're trying to recruit teachers now.
Right.
So saying we're going to recruit 6,500 more, where do they come from?
Right.
We already lose more teachers every year and have for quite a few years than we produce in the UK. So we're not sending enough people through the teacher training system.
I do want to note him talking about them looking to recruit elsewhere. It's the same issue with the NHS and the doctor shortage. So you can imagine with us and our outflow of medical staff going to other countries, the UK has an issue, and whoever wins, it looks like it's going to be Keir Starmer. There is a lot that they're going to have to face looking at healthcare and also education. Finally, family planning. I, of course, had to ask him about, what his thoughts on personal responsibility and raising a number of kids that you can afford. And here's what he said about that.
And if you look at the numbers of how many young people are coming through the system, youth unemployment.
Right.
I think there is most definitely an onus on the government, on NGOs, on public organizations to educate people to make sure they are responsible when they are planning their families.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is an economic decision. If you're looking at, and China is a great example, people are not having more than one child because they can't afford the childcare costs. So they are actually looking and saying, what does it cost to raise a child these days? And I think that's a useful message to Nigerians. I'm not saying stick at one child,
right,
but have a think. How much can I give each child if I have two or if I have three? You know, for us, we have 3 children. Is it easy? No, I come from a family of 4 children.
right.
My parents went without a lot of things.
Family planning is an economic decision. Let's get to a tweet from the CEO of Rivian, the electric vehicle maker, RJ Syringe. There's the big news coming out of the electric vehicle space. Look at his tweet there. He's in a picture with the CEO of Volkswagen. And he basically says, if you look at that tweet, where he says here that this is exciting. Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Bloom and I delighted to announce the formation of a joint venture between our 2 companies. The partnership brings Rivian software and zonal electronics platform to a broader market through Volkswagen's group global reach and scale, while providing an expected $5 billion of capital. So Volkswagen is going to be investing $5 billion in Rivian. Rivian shares jumped about what? I think 40% in aftermarket trading. This is a company that's been losing about $1 billion per quarter. So they've had a bit of a cash crunch. Ford is a majority shareholder. Amazon is a shareholder in them as well. This is going to be a really big boost to Rivian, and the shares are reflecting that. Let's get to Nigeria. Moody's reaffirming positive outlook on Nigeria. The ratings action there, Moody's rating affirms Nigeria's CAA1. This is just below investment grade, should be said. Ratings and maintains the positive outlook. Basically, in the statement that Moody's put out, it was on foreign exchange, clearing the FX backlog, liberalizing the exchange rate, the reforms that President Tinubu took on, which were tough but had to be done. So, speaking of which, one of the reasons when ratings agencies look at your profile, your fiscal profile, they look at your debt. So we've already discussed this, we've been down this road, but Wale Edu, Minister of Finance, Patience Oniha, Director General of the Debt Management Office, both reiterated, what we broke down last week, or rather on Monday, that Nigeria's dollar debt has come down. Here is Wale Edu.
It is my pleasure to also say a few words regarding what I would call the current conversation regarding government finances, regarding borrowing, debt, and including ways and means. The debt stock, the total debt stock of Nigeria in US dollar terms fell by 15%. That is very positive. Any rating agency, any creditor, any investor looking at that will see it as a positive move. We are a country that has petrodollars. We have ability to earn in dollars. So it's highly relevant that we look at what is our exposure in dollar terms. On the other hand, given the exchange rate movements, even though there was like an 8 trillion increase in actual debt issuance, the total debt stock, when you count domestic debt, which as I said, there was increase in issuance. When you count the total external debt and domestic debt, and in Naira terms, it has increased by 25%. But that's mainly due to the foreign exchange movement, which can change tomorrow, as we know.
All right, fine. We'll round off with Kenya. And, it's important to add some context to what happened yesterday. Protesters invaded Kenya's parliament. They set it on fire. They broke flags. Legislators had to run out of parliament for their lives. This is not similar to NSAS. No Nigerian invaded any government offices in Nigeria during the NSAS protest. This is similar to January 6th, 2021 in the United States, where Americans stormed the Capitol and legislators in America had to run out, and that is being discussed right now. I'm sure it's going to come up in the debate, that big debate that's going to go down tomorrow between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So here is William Ruto, president of Kenya, addressing that in a speech yesterday.
Today, Kenya experienced an unprecedented attack on its democracy, rule of law, and the integrity of its constitutional institutions. An otherwise legitimate expression of the fundamental rights and freedoms of assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals. Most regrettably, today's attack on Kenya's constitutional order has resulted in the loss of lives, also destruction of property and desecration of institutions and emblems of our sovereignty. Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. I assure the nation that the government has mobilized all resources at the nation's disposal to ensure that a situation of this nature will not recur again.
That basically is our update for today.
Rotus, with due respect, please, let's keep the story short so that people can react. I mean, let's just keep it very short because there's no time to be able to react to a lot of things this morning because we have to go now and we can't react to the story. So please keep it short next time. Thank you. I think we have to go.
Thank you, Rotus, for the update. We'll see you at 11 for Global Business Report.